Haunted Hayride. Chapter 1. The bet. I have a problem, a really, really big problem. The Halloween carnival is tonight, and everyone is going to go on the haunted hayride. I'm too afraid to go, but if I don't, then Max will call me a baby. Let me tell you about it. I can't wait until tonight, I said to my best friend Robbie as I took a big bite of my turkey sandwich. Me either, he said. Some mayonnaise dripped on my shirt, and I licked it off. The Halloween carnival does sound really awesome, said Josh. He was the new kid who had just moved here from California. Josh took a grape, tossed it into the air, opened his mouth, and the grape dropped right in. Bullseye, he yelled, pumping his fist in the air. That was so cool. Where did you learn to do that? My dad taught me. Whatever, said Max. Anyone can do that. It's not that big of a deal. Oh, really? Said Jessie. Then let's see you try it. Even a baby can do it, said Max. Are you afraid to try it because you know you can't do it? Asked Josh. Who said I was afraid? Max growled. I'm not afraid of anything. Sure, said Josh. Blah, blah, blah. All you ever do is talk. I don't have any grapes or else I'd show you right now, said Max. Here you go, said Josh, throwing him one of his grapes. Show us how easy it is. It should be really easy for someone with such a big mouth, I whispered to Robbie. Good one, Robbie said. Max slowly turned his head in my direction and glared at me. What'd you say? He said you have a really big mouth, Josh answered. Oh no, why did you just tell him what I said? I whispered to Josh. Now I'm really going to get it. Max jumped up out of his seat, reached across the table and grabbed me by my t-shirt. Let go of him, said Josh. Says who? Says me. Max twisted my shirt tighter. I said, let go, Josh yelled in Max's face. Josh was so brave. Even though he was the new kid, he wasn't afraid to stand up to Max. He had a lot of guts. Max was the biggest bully in the whole first grade, and now he was the biggest bully in the whole second grade. Everyone was afraid of him. Everyone except Jessie and Josh. You heard him, Jessie yelled in Max's other ear. Let Freddie go. Max looked from Josh to Jessie and back to Josh. Then he slowly let go of my shirt. I stood there frozen for a minute. Then I carefully sat back down. Thanks, guys, I whispered. No problem, said Josh. You got to stop being so afraid of him. He couldn't hurt a fly. Jessie laughed. You can say that again. So are you going to toss that grape into your mouth or not? Josh asked Max. Max grabbed the grape, threw it up in the air, opened his big fat mouth, but the grape hit him in the eye and bounced onto the floor. Josh practically fell on the floor laughing. With aim like that, you won't win any games at the carnival tonight, said Jessie. A lot harder than it looks, huh, Max, said Josh, getting back in his seat. I'll beat you at something tonight, Max mumbled. Just you wait. Jessie, what's your favorite thing at the carnival? Asked Josh. The haunted hayride. The what? The haunted hayride. What's that? It sounds spooky. It is, said Jessie. You go on a hayride in the woods behind school and monsters jump out and scare the pants off of you. Cool. I can't wait to go. Maybe we'll do that first. Nah, you have to wait until it gets dark, really dark. That's when it's super fun. Awesome. Freddie, we have to make sure we do that one together. Are you kidding? Freddie isn't going to go on a hayride, said Max. What do you mean? Asked Josh. Of course Freddie is going. Oh, no, he's not, Max said, smirking. Why not? Because he's a fraidy cat. That's why. No, he's not, said Josh. No one is afraid of silly old fake monsters in the dark. Right, Freddie? See, I told you, said Max. He'll never go. He's too much of a baby. You don't know what you're talking about, said Josh. He is not a baby. Of course Freddie is going on the haunted hayride. I bet he won't, said Max. Really? I bet you he will. What do you want to bet? Robbie poked me in the ribs. Tell him, he whispered. You got to tell Josh that you're too afraid to go. I can't do that, I whispered back. Why not? Because I want Josh to be my friend. I don't want Josh to think I'm a wimp, and I don't want Max to go around telling everyone I'm a baby. Okay, here's the deal, said Max. You have to give me one of your carnival prizes if Freddie doesn't go, and I have to give you one of mine if he does go. I like it, said Josh. It's a deal. Max laughed. I can't wait until tonight. I hope you win something good just so I can take it away from you. You are not going to get any of my prizes, said Josh, because Freddie is really brave. Just you wait and see. Oh, you'll be the one waiting, said Max. You'll be waiting a long time. A very long time. Josh put his arm around me. You don't know what you're talking about, Max. Freddie isn't a fraidy cat, right, Freddie? Right, I said, trying to sound strong, but sounded more like a squeaky mouse. Chapter 2, Monsters, Zombies, and Mummies. So tell me more about this haunted hayride, Josh said on the bus ride home. I never got to do anything like that at my school in California. You're going to love it, said Jessie. Did you say they take you in the woods behind school? The deep, dark woods, she said. It's really creepy in there at night, and they set it up to look even creepier. I pulled my hood up over my head to try to block out their conversation. First, they played this really creepy music. You mean the kind that sounds like ghost moaning? Ooh, exactly. The kind that sends chills up your spine. Just listening to them was sending chills up my spine. Tell me more. Don't tell me more, I thought. I tried to cover my ears without looking too obvious. Jessie continued. The only light comes from a bunch of glowing jack-o'-lanterns that line the path. Did you say jack-o'-lanterns? Chloe interrupted, jumping out of her seat. I love jack-o'-lanterns. No one was talking to you, Max mumbled. But I don't like taking all the gooey stuff out of the pumpkins, Chloe continued. It's so messy and yucky. Ugh. That gooey stuff is called pulp, Robbie said. Well, whatever it's called, I think it's gross, said Chloe. Touching all that slimy pulp is the best part of carving a pumpkin, said Jessie. I love playing with all the goop. Chloe wrinkled up her nose. Well, I won't touch it. I make my daddy take it all out for me. Be quiet, Max yelled. No one cares. Chloe scowled at Max and sank back down in her seat. Josh shook his head. Is she from another planet or what? Jessie laughed. You'll get used to her after a while. Hey, Jessie, Josh continued. Didn't you say things reach out and grab you while you're on the hayride? Oh, yeah. You're just riding along, and then all of a sudden, something will jump out of the shadows and scream in your ear or grab you when you least expect it. Wow, said Josh, that sounds even cooler than I imagined. It sounds even scarier than I imagined. I thought to myself, I'll have nightmares for the rest of my life. There's no way I can go on this hayride. Robbie pulled his hood off of my head and whispered in my ear, Freddie, what? Do you remember Chloe's Halloween party last year? I nodded. How could I forget? Remember how scared you were when stuff popped out of nowhere? I nodded again. I think you jumped like 3 feet in the air. I know. Do you have to remind me? So how do you think you're going to be able to go on a hayride in the woods? You don't even like to go for a walk in the woods at night. He did have a point. Last summer, when we went for a walk in the woods after dark to look for fireflies, you got totally freaked out when you heard an owl hooting. You thought it was a ghost, and you ran out of the woods screaming. I let out a big sigh. What am I going to do? Tell him. I can't do that. I pulled my hood back over my head and closed my eyes. Why did I have to be so afraid of everything? If I don't go on that hayride, then Josh won't think I'm cool. I want to be cool surfer kid, just like him. Freddie, I still can't believe Max bet you wouldn't go on that haunted hayride. I didn't answer. Freddie, are you in there? I pulled my hood down. Sorry, were you talking to me? Yeah, I said, I can't believe Max bet me you wouldn't go on the haunted hayride. Yeah, about that. This is going to be the easiest bet I've ever won in my life. You better tell him. I'm trying. I hope he wins a really great prize. I can't wait to see his face when I take it away from him. About that hayride. It sounds so spooky. I just love when monsters and zombies and mummies come out of nowhere and totally surprise you when you least expect it. Just listening to Josh talk about it was making me sick to my stomach. What's your favorite part? Josh asked me. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? It's not a trick question, Freddie. It kind of is for him, Robbie said. What do you mean? You guys are acting weird. Josh, I have something to tell you. Okay, what is it? I've never been on a haunted hayride. Did you just say you've never been on the haunted hayride? Thanks for announcing it to the whole entire bus, I said. Oh, sorry. But is it true? You've never been on it? Yeah, it's true. But why not, Freddie? Because, because, because why? Because my parents wouldn't let me, I lied. Robbie turned and stared at me with a shocked expression on his face. Awesome. Then it'll be the first time for both of us. Yeah, I can't wait, said Josh, giving me a high five. It's going to be the best night ever. The best night ever, I agreed. That is, if I made it through the ride without throwing up in his lap.